that any of the city services industries are overregulated, i.e. restaurants and bars? And what can the city do to stimulate more business for bars and restaurants?
Let me answer the second part first. One thing that the city can do to stimulate more business for restaurants and bars is to get the heck out of their way. To be quite honest with you. And that goes back to the first part. Yes, I believe that there is some overregulation. Here's what I want to see. What I think is going to help is for there to be, first and foremost, a true partnership between business, including restaurants and bars, and city government. I did a forum this morning on Steve Kraski's show, and it's interesting to me to hear restaurant and bars talked about almost derogatorily. I happen to eat at restaurants. I won't tell you what I do at bars, but I do happen to go out and eat quite a bit in town, and I enjoy that. And I think that restaurant and bars are absolutely, positively integral to this city. Number one is one of the things that we're known for is our food and our restaurants and our home cooking. Number two, it is a place that supplies jobs to people on an everyday basis. And I'm talking about people, when we talk about jobs in this city from an economic development standpoint, everybody talks about good jobs. The $50,000 jobs that have all the benefits and things attached to it. I disagree with that limited definition. When we talk about jobs, we need to talk about jobs from kitchen to hard hats, to the office, to computers, to whatever else. Everybody should have access to a job. I'm particularly interested in jobs that allow people who might not otherwise have an opportunity to have the dignity of employment to find their way into the employment stream. And I know for a fact that happens in restaurants and bars. My father worked as a chef at the old Black Angus restaurant. I worked as a busboy at the old Black Angus restaurant. That was my first experience with a real job where I had to show up on time, I had to do my job, and I got a paycheck at the end of the week or at the end of 2 weeks. Those were the skills that kind of launched me onto things. I learned at that point that working hard directly leads to reward. Now there's a group of people in this city that are here all the time that need that kind of entry-level position, and those are people who have had bad experiences with the law. I look at things in a systemic way and a systems way. We cannot deal with crime adequately as long as we don't deal with the issue of recidivism. We cannot deal with the issue of recidivism if we don't deal with the issue of employment. We can't deal with the issue of employment unless we deal with the issue of education. All of these things are related. All of them are related. So, first and foremost, restaurants, bars deal with regulated industries. Regulated industries has a job to do, no doubt. It should not be a job as an occupying force or a barrier to employment or a barrier to business. It should be a partner with business. So what I would do is I might sit down everybody for a few times and say, what's going on, what's the issues, how do we resolve it, and then find ways to make sure that we're working together on things. And it would be a give and take. Everything's a give and take, but it has to be a fair give and take.